Gurus. We're an automotive training and service provider whose mission is to educate technicians and to address the technician shortage that faces our industry. We do this by offering on-site, hands-on training from one of our 11 national training facilities. We also offer on-the-go training, which brings our trainers' expertise straight to the shops and technicians across the country by way of one of our 35 technology vans and our mobile automotive training center. We also offer online training, which has over 110 premium courses that cover 9 different categories on our brand new website through our new e-learning platform. So if you're interested in learning more about what we do, head over to garagegurus.tech. That's also where all of the information around this series and the upcoming webinars that you can pre-register for, where all that information lives. So that's a good resource for you. Our topic today is steering and suspension inspection with our guru trainer, Mike Hinderer. In this session, we're going to cover ways to improve your skills and time efficiency in identifying loose or bad steering and suspension parts, as well as performing loaded and unloaded ball joint inspections. So throughout this training, you can enter your questions that you may have into the Q&A button on your screen. And we're going to do our best to answer those as the training is going on. But then at the end of the training, all of the questions that have been entered in there, or as many as we can answer, Mike will answer those live for us all. So as a reminder, that's that Q&A button right there on your screen. You can type any questions you have in there and we will address those live at the end. So without any further delay, we're going to start today with our steering and suspension inspection. Take it away, Mike.
Hi everyone, Mike Hinderer with Garage Gurus. Today we're going to go through and talk about Moog steering and suspension inspection. Give you kind of a brief overview of how this is going to look today. First, we're going to start talking about some steering and suspension types. Right, we're going to go through and talk about the common ones you're going to see, in addition to how to inspect them, some on-vehicle diagnostics. We'll go through and talk about steering linkage, some of the common types you're going to see, as well as how to inspect it on vehicle, common faults, common issues. Then lastly, we're going to wrap up, we're going to talk about power steering. We're going to go through and talk about electric power steering, as well as hydraulic power steering, operations, some of the common diagnostics, and some of the common diagnostic scenarios you run into on the vehicle. Starting off with talking about some of the common suspension types you're going to see, the first one we're going to talk about is short long arm, also known as type 1 or double wishbone suspension. Does have upper and lower control arms, could have a separate shock and spring in between the control arms. Another option could be upper and lower control arm with a strut in the middle. Some of these vehicles will also have the sway bar will be connected to the lower control arm. Between the bar and the lower control arm could also be located between the bar and the knuckle. We're going to go through and look at a couple common types, look at some sway bar links as we go through here today. Now, one of the real good features about the short long arm is it does give you exceptional ride and handling, because as the vehicle drives, the tire rotates through bumps, through turning, that tire contact patch remains pretty constant at the road surface. Another feature about the short long arm is it's very versatile. You'll see it in a lot of different kinds of vehicles. You may see this on light duty trucks. You could see this on SUVs, both large and small SUVs. You could see this on crossovers. You could see this on full-size cars. You could see this on mid-size cars. And again, does it give you that good road feel, good handling characteristics? In the picture here, you're going to see a very common vehicle, 2015 Chevrolet Tahoe. And it applies whether it's rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Another common type you're going to see is a McPherson strut setup, commonly found in a lot of front-wheel drive applications. This 2015 Dodge Journey here behind me does have that McPherson strut setup on it. We're going to talk about it. We'll demonstrate it here in a few minutes. Some of the features about the McPherson strut does have less unsprung weight due to less suspension members. Does not have, you will not see an upper control arm with a ball joint. It's going to be the strut connecting directly to the lower control arm. Handling has improved over the years with better spring, strut, shock technology, but still is a cost-based compromise between the SLA and the Multilink. Some other examples are going to be the 2010 Mazda 3 and a 2014 Hyundai Genesis you see here illustrated in the slide. And again, think about it, primarily you're going to see this on smaller cars. Here's a couple examples of a double wishbone suspension. And you can see it does have that extended knuckle, so it is going to somewhat limit how many tire and wheel combinations you can put on this as far from a size perspective. The other thing it's going to help keep in check is the sheet metal coming around the front with this upper control arm and upper ball joint. And then here we're going to talk about a multi-link suspension. Again, used on many front-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive vehicles. Could be all-wheel drive, could be front-wheel drive only. We'll have individual arms as opposed to conjoined A-arms. So in this picture, this looks like an upper A-arm, when in fact it is actually two individual arms with a ball joint here in the middle. And you can see from a service perspective, you see a lot of opportunity because every arm is going to have a control arm bushing and could have a ball joint at the other end. So again, lots of opportunity for service. Now where we're going with this is we think about all this from a component perspective. Here on the desk here, I have some of the common components you're going to see. We'll start off, we'll talk about inner tie rod. The inner tie rod connects to the outer tie rod, a threaded connection here. And these two together are going to connect the steering gear out to the knuckle. Looking at the picture, we're illustrating it right here. So here would be the end of your steering rack. Here's your inner tie rod going out to your outer tie